How's it going, everyone? It is Tuesday, November 26th, 2024. Let's take a look at the picks from the prior video. First one was Shop. So Shop got in on this move here at the pullback close to the end of the day. When it got close to VWAP, so I got in at 110.90. And I added to the stock over here at 113.35. So like the move today, market is in a kind of a bullish LPTE day, slight bullish bias, but nothing too much. So pretty happy with staying on a swing trading basis. I'm going to get to that in a second. But on a day like this, Shop has been just kind of grinding higher steadily. So pull back to the 8 EMA, next leg, pull back, probably pull back again, make the next leg. So like what I see in this stock. Make these a little bit bigger. Other pick we had, UPST. That is pretty much at a break even. So this is a choppy stock. So got in the stock later in the day on this red candle here at about 79.20. And stock is holding the gains and it's testing that gap and is holding that gap. So I think it has a nice amount of room to at least 85 and I think even potentially up to 90 on that breakout. But nice little, just kind of a steady stock. You see it dips a lot here, so you don't have to chase on these green candles, right? Wait for this dip and wait for the support after the dip or when it bounces off some sort of major level like relative high or VWAP. Came back, it tested this breakout over here, grinded back up. So that is what I like about UPST. Still looking good. Let's take a look at the market first, and then we will go over our picks. So today, there was a little bit of news on the Trump tariffs stuff. It affected some automotive stocks, but nothing super major in my opinion. There was a knee-jerk reaction overnight, and then that reaction was quickly erased. So here is the knee-jerk reaction overnight, and then here is the move up afterwards. Pretty much erased that reaction. You would have never known if you didn't look at the after hours chart. So market, I'd say a small gap up on this open, nice little green candle here. And we were watching to see what happens on this gap up over here. So some of the context on a longer term time frame is that we're all kind of in the meat of the move, in the middle of the move, I should say. So I'm still bullish, but not as bullish as a 3. I'm more like a 2 because we're in the middle versus the beginning of the cycle. And yesterday we tested that all-time high at 600. We slightly poked above it. And then we got a bit of a slap down. Now, here's a rejection. You can see we held the gap, and then we had a nice little bounce, closing close to VWAP, which is the scenario that I wanted. I wanted to see a little bit of a tail on the C1 candle. I didn't want to see some sort of bearish engulfing candle that took out all the gains of the prior day. That is a warning sign. So we got that. Today we had a small gap up, tested the bid over here. Now in a small gap, we preserved half of it. And you can see how the move is low volume. Lots of mixed colors here. Red, green, red, green, red, green. So buyers have some weak control at this level. And sellers, not a ton of control. But you see they're still in there, right? They're just kind of jousting. I think this is just some program trading for today. I'm sure traders are taking off for the holidays, especially big traders. So probably not a lot of volume coming in here, and that's the reason why we're kind of in holiday mode. So that's the setup for today. Now on our swings, this is I think the best case scenario because we got this test, we held, and now we're inching up, and I don't expect us to break above the new all-time high over here, which is just shy of 601. I'd like to see us close somewhere above, somewhere around this level, right? Just a nice small tiny grind, doesn't get too far ahead of itself, just a little back and forth drip, 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 moving up higher, and we kind of open up fairly flat, right? Pretty much close right by the all-time high. Oops, because that will give us the best opportunity to open on the next day. And when we open, flat open or a small gap on that all-time high, right, we have a really nice chance to clear through that level. Now here, we had kind of a big gap up to test that, and we got moved up a little bit too fast. And then, in my opinion, that's why we kind of got that smackdown. Over here, if it's a steady move higher where we're kind of just churning through and digesting through all of these sellers, and buyers are slowly grinding their way up higher, then I think that's a much more likely case for a breakout. Now, if I look at the SPY chart here, and I'm going to give it a nice example. So I'm going to pull this up over here just so we can zoom in on one of the days. But if you look at something like this day, right, the 9th, so let's go to the 5-minute chart, and let's look at October 9th. So market was in a compression, and we closed that day on the 8th, right on the compression. And then on the 9th, we see it a flat open, tested, and then just grinded higher. And then the move started to accelerate. We got a nice little red candle. And then kind of some compression here. Held some of these gains, and then we got that next, I think a little bit of a next leg higher over here. Yeah, after this choppy pullback. Nice little next leg higher. This was that all-time high right over here, right? Let's see if we can find some of these levels. Yeah, so a couple of these levels of compression here. And we pretty much had a flat open right there. Whoops, there's all my drawings. Let's just hide that for now. But we had a flat open right there. And we were able to churn up higher. So that's kind of the pattern that I'm looking for. I don't know if we'll get it this week, but either this week or next week. That's what I'm looking for. So with that context, again, our longer term bias, fundamentally, technically, still bullish, still a 3 and a 2 respectively. Shorter term, I'm a 2 because we're in the middle of the move. Intraday here, pretty neutral. Maybe a little bit slightly bullish, mildly bullish, but nothing too crazy. I like how we are just kind of hugging the gains and we're holding this level. That's what I like to see. So let's take a look at some of the picks that we are in. Okay, I'm going alphabetically here. First one is Amazon. Nice recovery. Testing looks like this prior high over here. How to get that test. And then now the stock is trying to get through the gap. It is through that A VWAP E. And it's holding it pretty well. So an alert set at the gap. We did take a partial loss to allocate some buying power to team, but our price is somewhere over here at 880 something. So I believe I took a $10 loss on that somewhere here. So if I get a $10 gain, which is possible, then I pretty much break even. All right, next one we have is App. So App had a little bit of selling on yesterday, but then looks like we're holding a bit of a compression here today. Not really doing a whole lot, in my opinion. We haven't had a ton of follow through on this, so I think we can probably get a nice little pop up at one point, and then I'm going to look to take profits at the top of this range, or maybe even on a breakout to 360. But I'm still bullish in the market. So because I'm bullish in the market, I have latitude to give these trades some time to work. Now, Dash, we had a little bit of a fun time here next day on that candle. And what I liked, I said, look, this candle's got to be quickly erased. And we got this test and then erase, steady green buying. I love this pop out of the box compression today. This is a nice tight compression that preserved all of the gains from the prior move. And then we got this nice green candle. This is actually the clue, in my opinion, because we've had time to digest the gains. We're getting some slightly higher lows, some volumes coming in, and then we get this breakout. So I like Dash. Again, if I had more buying power, I would allocate a little more to that stock. IONQ, again, after a couple stocks had some selling on yesterday. Today, IONQ test that 8 EMA, finding some support, hold up pretty well. LPT day, so it's not really anything amazing, not really anything great. I do have alert to take partial profits at $35 because the all-time high for this stock is just shy of $36 right over here, high of 35.90. So take some partial profits there because INOQ, it's made a pretty big move these last 2 months to get to this range. So I feel like there's a chance that it could struggle a little bit to get over there. But we have a market tailwind, and this is a strong trend. So I'm not going to completely panic out of it, but I think this is just a nice little spot to take some partial gains. Netflix. So we had a bearish engulfing candle yesterday. Not a fan. We're holding the 8 EMA today. We're trying to poke above, trying to recover half of this candle. So I like this move up over here. I want to see if the market tailwind, if they can start to chew away at this long red candle, then I know we're back on track. So far, not bad. If we got some gap down and follow through selling, probably would have to take the loss. But the fact that we're holding the line here tells me, okay, I mean, this is probably one of the first chinks in the armor. And it just tells me that the trend is not as fresh as it was here, naturally at 781. Yeah, damn, that was a nice mover on Netflix. And of course, given my luck, I took a day trade at 906 and managed to somehow call a mini top. So that's funny. But I sized for a move down, so I could take that hit. But yeah, we want to see how it recovers. What I like by Netflix is that this is a strong trend and it's a linear trend. It's not a parabolic trend. So if it's parabolic and it really started to get away from me, right, and really start to extend super far away from that 8 EMA, then that would tell me that, I want to be more vigilant about this bearish candle because the stock has run up really fast, really, really hot. Now, because it's a linear trend, I feel like it's more likely that we absorb this gain, and we're probably going to test this level. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 1,000, to be honest. That's just a nice clean target on Netflix. So not really going to panic out of that guy. Roblox, we are still watching the stock. Now, a couple of tests of $48. It's been pretty weak to this market rally. I'm going to wait out and see if it can hold the support, if it can break down. So I have an order out around 47-ish, which is around this prior high. Now, there's a bit of support here, 48, 47, and 46. So a lot of support coming in on Roblox. And there's also a ton of horizontal support over here. I don't think it's going to get there, but I'm in this sort of broken weekly at the money spread where I'm just holding the out of the money short puts. And I don't think I'm actually in this position as a pick, but I guess I'll just go over it anyways because I have quite a bit of picks here. Same thing with INOQ. I'm giving my normal positions over here. Most of them are the same as the picks, but there's one or two that are different. But just to give you a heads up, took this Roblox, we'll get the money, took some small profits here, took a loss on this breakdown, and then on this weekly at the money, right, I'm out until January, so I can say, look, well, this is not really rallying with the market. If the market starts to pause and roll over, I think Roblox will probably test that 50 SMA, or at least the all-time high, so I can take a nice win on those out-of-the-money puts, which are actually at the money because I took the 50 puts. Over here. Now, if Roblox gains some relative strength and can get it back above a VWAP, okay, yeah, I might get back in the spread and reestablish it. So, just kind of evaluating the scenarios over here. Now we're still in Reddit. Reddit holding those gains, compressing a little bit here. Again, not doing a whole lot. It's made a big move. It's pulled back. There's a little bit of news, but I feel like this is absorbing some of that selling. There's been no follow through on that gap down. It's been holding that low at 140-ish, which tells us that, okay, I like what I see. And what I'm going to do is probably just put an alert right there. Okay, shop is the next one. That stock is having some continuation today. We already talked about that. And I have a target at the high over here because it's a shorter term swing. Okay, team. We had a bit of a bearish hammer yesterday, but nothing too crazy in my opinion. Stock is compressing today, holding those gains. Yeah, dead day, low volume, not really doing a whole lot intraday. We have Twilio over here. So that stock looks like it pulled back, tested that level right here. Has an IPO AV up that I've called out a couple of times. So I have an order to take some profits at that level. Now, it could break through. So if it breaks through, then we can ride the remaining. But I have an order to take some partial profits here. I feel like it's a 50-50 proposition in my opinion. We also have AFRM. Stock is still rallying up higher. A little bit of selling today, but has one or two red days. Not the end of the world. AI pulled back a little bit after breaking through. A lot of momentum in this guy. We have some time before earnings. We are watching this level right here, 38 bucks. Probably not going to crack through it today, but we see we got a test here, a couple of tests. We couldn't break through. We fell through today. So we got to see if we can hold through and really get above this level on a market tailwind. GoDaddy. GoDaddy is beautiful. It's been a beautiful stock. Right, a little bit of selling, completely erased the next day. Steady green candles. Really high volume on this candle, which is a little bit odd, I will say. But sometimes we just get these huge orders. Yeah. These huge orders, maybe like these end of day kind of fills. But yeah, this is a nice, beautiful breakout over here at 171, and then stock has just been churning higher. Wow. That would have been a beautiful entry on that stock on the 6th over here. Okay, and I believe that is it. So most of them are overlap, but INOQ and Roblox, not really in there. And I'm not sure if I gave Netflix as a pick or not, so I'm gonna check over here. I did. It is a pick. Okay, nice. So, what can we take for today? Now, a couple of people have been calling out some bullish put spreads. So if I look at something like Microsoft, you can see how this stock pretty strong today, but it's kind of in this range. I'm not a huge fan of taking bullish put spreads in this range. There is some defined support over here. But you can see it's just chopping around these levels. How strong is this? Trying to estimate. It is a magnet, right? But is this a level? I mean, really, the level is coming here, this upward sloping trend line. And then if I break through that, right, what's the next level? So not as crazy about that. If I wanted to find a bullish put spread, I actually would have taken them a couple of days ago, because then I would have had some escape velocity in the move. But here, right, if the market does stall, I have to take some heat in the bullish put spreads before I get up. So not too crazy about that. Let's look at a couple stocks that I did like today. Again, not a whole ton because it's a pretty low volume day. But I've been tagging a couple stocks that could work as day trades. They have high volume, high volatility. So NRG is a decent one over here. Stock is pulling back right now. And it has a little bit of room to this high from earnings, which is at 102. So a little bit of room, but it's decent. It's got good volume over here. SMTC, big move post earnings. This stock made a big breakdown here, coming back in here. Now, this actually, well, the thing is, this is some heavy selling, so I'm not a huge fan of that, but I'd want to see this candle get erased. Nice bounce off VWAP. I may buy that, but yeah, I don't love this heavy selling. So what I do is, I just drop these two alert lines. So if we get a breach of both of those, that could be decent. Now, one of my searches here is stocks with volume and volatility. So looking at a couple of these, GoDaddy's on one of these, Rocket Lab, nice breakout. Let's look at this guy. Okay, yeah, you see how it's chopping around here. So if we can get above that level, we have something going. But if it can't, then I wouldn't sweat it. What I would do is just find stocks that are kind of getting in on a pullback and have some orderly price action. So that's actually kind of why I liked Shop quite a bit. Okay, end tap, some flagging here, but not a ton of momentum in this trend. So you can mess around with a couple of these. On a day like today, you can see maybe what's on, let's see what's on Red Hot. EVH. I want to trade that. But bull run. Okay, we have Adobe. Not a bad move. Here's Coupang. Getting through that downward sloping trend line. Is into this gap over here. It's a nice move on Coupang. Yeah, look at that 1OP divergence. And then it produced. Now it's starting to roll over. So, nice moves on Coupang. Not too bad. APLT. Let's take a look at this guy. Pretty choppy. I don't think I'd trade that. So, yeah, I'm going to err on the side of caution today. I mean, I did actually like Shopped a lot as the 2 picks that were in Shop. I like that as a day trade because it actually opened. It's a strong mover. It's in a trend. It opened below the prior day. It opened below that prior day low. So here's the trend, right? You can see big move, pulls back. This is actually really nice to set up on these buy signals. I think that's probably when I'd take the trade. Yeah. So, you can see it gap down over here, and then it's just been kind of moving fairly steadily, right? This is a pretty organized move up higher. Especially when the market was going down a little bit here, stock was finding some support. So you're able to get in at that close, getting close to VWAP over here, and really ride this guy out. And then we're getting a bit of a dip at 600, which is kind of makes sense. So that's what I like. And I'll just play around with some searches today. So see what stocks, and you could probably reverse backwards, but I'm going to maybe give a search and then we will call it a day. But so this is my basic criteria here for just vetting out, stocks that are liquid. So we're starting with a list of 600. We're going to narrow this down. So I just want to see a stock. I think that's on a buy signal already. Trade signal on an M30. So let's start over there. Nice. So that takes out quite a bit of stocks. And then like a little bit more. A little bit higher price for my day trades. At least maybe like 20 bucks. So let's take that out. Okay. Now we want to see a stock that we can do a couple things. We can do a new buy signal. We can see what stocks have some good volume today. And let's see what stocks, let's see what that brings that list down to. Okay, we have 40. Now it's already pretty good. We're going to get this pretty restrictive. So this is an 80x on the M30. Okay, so now we got some stocks that are moving. Final thing is that, well, at least we want a stock that is above its SMA over here. So at least put the SMA 50. Okay, and that'll take out some weaker stocks. Okay, so we have our picks over here. Let's take a look at these picks. We'll put them to the side so we can look at the chart. And we'll look at the M5 charts real quick first. Just see if there's any price patterns that we like. Oops. Let's put this on the right column, ARWR. And what we'd want to do is probably just set buy signals on these stocks. Yeah, so it's on a sell signal here. It's holding those gains. When it's on a buy signal, that could be decent. We'll just see some of these price patterns in here. Okay, yeah, it's moving up higher. Got a little bit ahead of itself, so you can take some gains. Choppy move. But nice breakout in box. DKS. And we're looking to see if for a stock that, was, okay, not that stock. Some heavy selling there. Yeah, not gonna do anything there. It's like a docu. It is compressing for a while over here, but you want to see it break out of that compression. ESTC. Not too bad. GoDaddy still looking good. GME. Just be careful on this one. This volume coming in there. IPG. GME is not too bad price-wise. Just the reputation. Okay, this is a nice one here. Pull back. Just grinding up higher. Test, test, test. Came back. Test. Higher, low. Came back. Breakout. Grinding higher. Take a look at this D1. Not terrible. Not terrible. It's at the 200-day SMA. It's a huge amount of momentum on the stock. So, if we can clear that, certainly has some room. Couple more. Mac. Okay, we got a gap up. Let's check this on the M5. Interesting. Okay, so we got some higher lows coming here. This downward sloping trend line. So what I'd do is set an alert right here. Maybe right here. Okay. So we get a break of that. Buy it near VWAP. And we're good to go. It's not a bad one. And tap. Okay, made a big move. Stock is flagging. Not bad, but not great. It's more stair-steppy. So you just set an alert and you move on. NTNX, that's some heavy selling. Not crazy about that. Yeah, double bottom here. Now, I'm actually more likely to buy than the next buy signal here. Rocket Lab, test, test, test. We're holding this level. Choppy move higher. SRPT, I think it's biotech. That's a nice little trend today. Started exponential, became kind of linear. Slowing down here. Could be a little double top. UGI. Decent. Okay, WDC also pretty decent. There's that buy signal. Exit, another buy signal on this entry candle, right? Strong stock above the prior day high. Buy, exit out over there. Yeah, so there's a couple of stuff, but get creative with the searches. See what stocks are trending. See how the buy signals are working, where they're coming into play, and so on. So that's it. I don't think I'm gonna give any pick for this video. LPT 8A. Not too much going on. Just wait and see. We're running our swings here, running our positions, and we'll see what happens on SPY 600. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the video tomorrow.